E3 2019 is right around the corner, and with it comes tons of new information on the games that we are looking forward to later in the year. I'm Johnny Hurricane from GamersHeroes.com, and here are our top 10 games we expect to see at E3 2019. Let's get started. Let's kick this list off right with one of the most impressive titles of E3 2018, Cyberpunk 2077. With the masterminds behind The Witcher 3 at the helm, CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 aims to deliver an equally exciting world set in a dystopian future. The studio previously showed how players could customize their character, along with a little bit of combat, city exploration, and a drivable car. We expect something a little more focused from this game this year, maybe a trailer focusing on some choices and consequences, or maybe even the new minigame. After all, Witcher 3 had Gwent, and Gwent spun off into its own game. One thing is certain, if a release date isn't revealed, Cyberpunk 2077 is slated to hit the next generation of consoles. Let's do a 180 real quick and check out our number 9 pick. As opposed to a dystopian future, we're going to go ahead and look at the cheerful world of Animal Crossing, and we should be seeing Animal Crossing Switch at the Nintendo Direct this year at E3. Not much is actually known about Animal Crossing for the Switch right now, but it is coming this year. Nintendo has said multiple times, including in the release trailer and in their latest earnings report, that Animal Crossing is making it this year. For the Animal Crossing trailer, I am expecting to see where we're going to be staying, the village that we're going to be living in, what type of area it is. I'm also expecting to see some new villagers, some old villagers, Tom Nook, of course, and I also expect them to briefly bring up Pocket Camp and be like, yeah, by the way, if you do this in Pocket Camp, you can bring over a chair or a couch or whatever to the new Animal Crossing on Switch. The trailer will wrap up and we will get a release date for Animal Crossing as well. I would guess September or October. Just a guess. Our number 8 pick is one that's really safe and everyone should expect to see at the Microsoft conference. That is Gears of War 5. Another game that I'm very confident is coming out this year. I bring it up because of how it looked last year. Last year, what we saw wasn't traditional Gears. It was almost a more mature take on Gears. Not necessarily just a third-person shooter, but maybe a third-person action-adventure game with some RPG elements. Sort of like how God of War changed from a hack and slash, it's still kind of a hack and slash, but more of an RPG thing, more focus on story. That is what I expect to get out of Gears of War 5. I don't expect drastic changes. I don't expect it to be like, alright, 100-hour RPG. I just expect them to be like, look, we've added some stuff. We're going to reward you for exploring. There's a lot more to see here, and the story's going to be good. Come check it out. My guess, release date, November. Normally, we'd expect to see our number 7 pick at the Sony conference, but they're not there this year. Still, I do expect to see Dragon Ball Project Z. Our first look was provided at the beginning of the year, along with a launch date of 2019. Outside of that, not much is really known, other than the fact that it'll focus on Goku and that it has its roots in the action RPG genre. All I know is that I really enjoyed Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse 2 a lot more than the first one, and I'm hoping that they somehow take some of those elements and toss it into this Project Z. Even though it is focusing on Goku, we don't actually know if we're just playing as Goku or if we're playing as some of the other Z fighters and characters as well. I think they should reveal that at E3, and I'm going to be honest, I would not be surprised if this snuck its way right into the Nintendo Direct. Xenoverse 2 is on Switch. It's been quiet, but it's popular there. As far as the release date is concerned, I expect this one in October. Coming in at number 6, we have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. After 2 canceled EA Star Wars projects, Respawn Entertainment takes up the helm with their single-player Star Wars adventure. In the reveal trailer, players learned who we would be playing as and where it takes place in the timeline for Star Wars. Of course, it is Order 66. The big complaint about the reveal trailer was that we didn't really see any gameplay. All we saw was some CG or cinematic trailer. So we learned who we were playing, but not how we would be playing them. We saw a little bit of force action, some lightsaber action, so I'd expect to see in the trailer for E3 is actual combat. How we're going to be dealing with problems, or maybe if we have to deal with them in a more stealthy way. On top of that, I expect to learn what kind of game we're playing here. What I mean by that is, what is it? Is it linear, open world, mission based? Are we going to be going to different planets? How are we getting to those planets? All that stuff. We're going to have optional objectives. By the end of it, we're going to know enough about the game that we're either going to be very hyped or very mad. I admit that with this one, I expected to see it in 2018, and that is our number 5 pick, and that is Dying Light 2. E3 2018 provided a solid look at the game, though no hands-on time was provided for us at the show. The original Dying Light was a solid zombie game. It had solid combat, solid enemies, solid story, solid everything. I expect them to take that up a few notches. I expect better combat. I expect more zombies, more enemies, and some better AI. I'm hoping to see a zombie horde. And of course, more RPG elements because, well, I love RPGs. Who doesn't? The big thing that they talked about at E3 2018 was choices. They showed off a couple of examples of this, and they did seem to actually affect the gameplay, which isn't always said. I always mention the illusion of choice. This seemed like a choice that actually had consequences, which are the best kind of choices. Maybe this time we take more of a role as a leader where we send our guys out to get supplies and things like that. That could also be a new thing. One thing I will say, this game has October 2019 written all over it, right? So I expect that to be at the end of the trailer. Number 4 is a pick that we had before the Sony State of Play, thank you very much, but after the Sony State of Play, we're 100% sure is going to be at E3 2019, and that's Final Fantasy VII Remake. It'll be up at the Square Enix event, and the Sony guy will most likely pop in when they talk about it. Sony's not having a conference this year, but they said they'd have people at E3, so you can expect to see it there. I think they're going to focus on the combat for this one and explain exactly what time frame it takes place in. Are we just doing Midgar, or did they scrap the whole... For those of you that don't remember, this is meant to be an episodic thing, 3 episodes, so maybe they just scrapped that and it's going to be the whole game remade. From what they've shown so far, it's only going to be Midgar, but hopefully by the end of E3 this year, we're going to know one way or another. Do not expect this game to hit in 2019. Square Enix already has a heavy hitter this year. We're going to get to that later. Number 3 is a game that's actually been flying under a lot of people's radar, and that is Biomutant. This is another post-apocalyptic world, but this time you were playing as a small mutant rat, cat, dog. I'm not actually really sure what the animal is, but I know that it uses a gun and that it has a big weapon, and they have a heavy emphasis on kung fu in this game. While I expect them to show off some of the combat, I really expect them just to kind of have a general overlay. I expect this to be a pretty big trailer with some voiceover, actually. I don't expect just a gameplay trailer or anything like that. I think you need to explain what exactly you'll be doing in this game to help sell it. It looks good. It's got good visuals. Gameplay looks solid from what we've seen. And I actually expected this game out this year. Now I'm not so sure. I'm thinking 2020, probably March. The other thing is recent leaks have shown that this is on a website for the Switch. So this could be another game that actually sneaks into the Nintendo Direct, and that's where we get our information about it. Either way, like I said, expect a 2020 release date. Number 2 is a game that has us intrigued. I would say borderline excited, but we're not quite there yet, and that's Halo Infinite. 1, 2, and 3. Halo 1, 2, and 3. I really enjoyed Halo 1, 2, and 3. 4 and 5 were fine, but I didn't like them nearly as much as I liked 1, 2, and 3. And I get a feeling from Infinite that I had when I had the first game. Something about it. It's the second level of Halo. You escape the ship and you land on this Halo ring, and there's just this vast, what is this? Vast, oh, this looks awesome. And that's what I get when I see Halo Infinite. Even though we've seen so little, it's this vastness, this exploration of this world of Halo. And as Halo has progressed, it's been more about multiplayer, and if it's about co-op, that's okay. I'm okay with co-op as long as it's the story, but not competitive multiplayer. So I expect to see a story trailer. I expect to see this world and it to be like at the end, like, hey, guess what? Next world. Oh, by the way, zooms out again. Yeah, you got a lot you're going to need to see in this world, or this universe, not this world, this whole universe. I expect the vastness of Halo Infinite to be shown off, and I expect that... you know what? No, I don't expect a release date for this. I think this one is next gen. Remember when we were talking about Final Fantasy VII and I said Square had a heavy hitter this year? Yeah, that's the Avengers Project. I hope that some of you actually remember what that is, because we have not seen it in a long time, and even what we saw, was a big what is this? In 2019, the Avengers are bigger than they have ever been and most likely ever will be. It's time. Even if you can't somehow get the release out, you need to show this game off this year. You need to show what you're going to be playing, who you're going to be playing. Are we our own characters? Are we playing Iron Man? Who are we playing? What are we playing? Is it an RPG? Games as a service? We need everything. We need a blowout. I'm saying like 20 minutes we need. You say, well, that might be a bit too much. No, that's not too much, because here's what I'm thinking. This is holiday release because they need it this year. So they need to show it now. They need to let us know that this game is worth playing and that it is functional. We need to know everything about it, because guess what? You are competing with a Star Wars game this year. So I'm telling you right now, this game is going to be blown out. And by the end of it, everybody's going to want to play. All right, that will do it for this list of the top 10 games we expect to see at E3 2019. What games are you expecting to see? What games are you excited for? Leave a comment down below, and we will see you guys in the next video. Later, Gators.